in fact. So this is just a Wikipedia says about it in science communication. It's to communicate the results, establish priority, building the reputation. So it's very similar to the purpose of the paper. But another thing that is very important that sometimes we forget is that authors are responsible for what they publish. So there's a level of responsibility. Is there any other purpose? And this is really on top of the page. So authorship is a primary basis that employers use to evaluate academic personnel for employment, promotion, tenure. So this is like the top reason how people get promoted or hired. So, but I wanted to highlight something very important. So authorship is a question of credit and responsibility. We mentioned it, but there are different practices that exist according to the disciplines. Here are two examples. On the left is the medical science approach, where the first author being the main contributor or project manager, or not manager, but like project leader. The last author is usually the researcher, the PI, and the middle are more junior students or technical staff. But in life sciences, it is a director really who chooses who's on the paper or not, and it's not always very clear. There's not necessarily a clear policy. On the right, this is a Higgs boson paper, like everybody heard about that one. And there's more than 5,000 authors in alphabetical order, and nobody knows what was the actual role in the paper. Like it's a huge endeavor that took many years, and it's worldwide impact paper. So to be more clear on what can be considered a contribution to a paper, there are many aspects that needs to be considered. This is a conceptualization, data curation, formal analysis, funding acquisition, investigation, methodology, project administration, resources. I think, we can fit very well in some of the resources aspects. Software as well, supervision, validation can be strong for imaging scientists. Visualization, writing original draft, or review and editing of the original draft. So this is a critical contribution. If you want more details, you can click the link on what it really means. So it is very interesting to understand what people think about what researchers think about what deserves credit. So this is a bit what we've done a bit before. So the top ones are, it's a survey that has been done by Nature journal in 2018. So drafting a paper is important, interpreting results, analyzing data, executing experimental plan, designing experiments. So here are the top 5 of the ones that are most cited, and the less important according to researchers. It's troubleshooting, third-party analysis, correcting grammar. Maintaining equipment is not considered important. Supplying samples. So it's just interesting to see what's a community, like the principal investigators community thinks. Another thing is this paper that has been published by Vincent Larivière in 2021, so it's pretty new. So it's a figure from the article investigating the division of scientific labor, with a figure showing the percentage of papers with specific credit contributions. As you can see here, some research activities overwhelmingly display recognition through credit, and some are much less recognized. So everything from the writing, conceptualization, formal analysis are pretty high, but sometimes software work or validation is not necessarily as recognized in a way within the credit publication. So one that use credit, they do not necessarily use validation or software as a credit in their paper. So now that we talked about authorship, another very important concept to understand is what happens next when you have published articles. And we need to look at citations. So another question for you. So to count citation, you need a database. And this is going to be a quick chat answer. Can you please write in the chat? I think it's easier than raise your hand. Give name of databases for scholarly publications that you know of.